The most profitable sales jobs are often the most boring. And while you might not want to hear it, it's the truth. And many of the positions we're going to talk about in today's video are always hiring because most people don't know they exist. Job number one is an industrial equipment sales representative. And I know what you're thinking, industrial equipment sales sounds pretty boring, like a long sales cycle type of job. But the truth is, somebody's got to do it. And it's one of the most predictable six-figure earning sales positions one can be in. Why? Because every factory, construction firm, and facility needs equipment. They need HVAC systems, heavy machinery, factory tools. All of it has to be bought, upgraded, and maintained. That means that sales reps who understand the systems and the types of products that are constantly in demand can make a killing helping companies sell these. And in terms of what you'll be doing on a day-to-day, well, it's pretty cushy because a lot of these jobs can be worked fully remotely, and those that require you to be in person don't require you to be in an office, but to cover a territory, because occasionally you just might need to visit that client in person, take some actual photos, and see if the information they're giving you checks out with the equipment that you're going to be helping them purchase. And if you happen to be doing any of the commute, well, you're fairly well compensated for it. The typical salary for this type of work can start from $70,000 all the way up to $170,000. I personally have known people that have entered this field for HVAC sales and have gone all the way up to $240,000 a year in personal take-home with $40,000 plus months in commissions. And you don't need a degree to get into this line of work. You just need solid communication skills and a willingness to learn and understand the types of products that you will be selling. So the pros of this job are that it's very high earning, there's consistent and high demand, which means there's going to be stability, but the cons is that it's very technical and you're going to have to learn a lot about the products that you are selling. Which takes me into sales job number two, which is a government sales specialist. Every industry from defense to education buys from private companies, and someone has to close those deals. And that's the job of a government sales specialist. Someone that will be writing proposals, navigating bureaucracy, and landing multi-year contracts, all from the comfort of your home. It's like being a translator from the private sector of how the government works with all its multiple layers of decision making and regular B2B businesses that might operate with much shorter sales cycles. Salaries in this type of position start at $80,000, but with commissions can earn you upwards of $400,000 per year, depending on the sector that you are selling in. And to succeed in this role, you're going to have to be familiar with the type of knowledge that goes into structuring and negotiating contracts, a valid driver's license, citizenship for the country or the government that you are buying and selling from, and patience, because selling or buying from the government does require much more time and multiple layers of decision, but the payout is that much more worth it because the government can cut checks of pretty much infinite size. So the pros of this line of work is that there's high earning potential, there's a lot of stability when you're working with the government as far as pipeline, and the flexibility to be able to work from home and make your own schedule. But the cons are going to be that it's very bureaucratic as far as navigating multiple levels of decision makers. You're going to have to be familiar with the ins and outs of contracts and negotiations, and the unpredictability of knowing exactly when something will close because you're working on the timelines of the government, which means government holidays, multiple layers of decision makers, and all the nuance that comes into that. So if you want to trade stability for those long sales cycles, well, this is the kind of work that you will crush it in. Which takes me to sales job number three with a faster sales cycle, and that is as an insurance wholesale broker. And this is one of the best kept secrets in the insurance world because when you think of insurance, you probably think of that individual agent that's selling person to person, individual to individual. But someone has to sell products to the agencies someone will be selling on behalf of. And in comes the insurance wholesale broker, the middleman between the massive banks or people that write these policies and the agencies that have the fleets of salespeople that are out there selling them. You act as the middleman, making sure that agencies with all of their individuals have the coverage that they need to be able to sell their client. And this takes place as a pure B2B sales position where you're never dealing with consumers, it's only business to business. It will require you to have a certain level of familiarity with insurance and the ins and outs of the products in the industry depending on where or what niche you are brokering in. And starting salaries come at $75,000 a year all the way up to $250,000 a year, and that's before your commissioned earning. Now the pros of this sales position are that it is mostly remote work, other than the one or two instances that you might need to meet a client in person, but in today's day and age with insurance, it's often not needed because a lot of these products are more paperwork agreements between two businesses around the things that they sell. It's also a very stable industry because insurance is one of the oldest or longest standing business models that there is, and the biggest benefit is there's a recurring component. One of these brokered contracts can pay you for years to come, not only building the business that you're selling on behalf of, but building your personal income with every deal that you close. Now the cons is that in most cases you will need an insurance license and a certain level of experience inside of insurance sales to be able to graduate into this wholesale broker type of a role, but if you can make that jump from doing the front lines of consumer, commercial, one-to-one into the B2B, well, you're really shifting gears on not only your earnings, but on the upside.